Hi everybody, my name is Darren Kimura. So I'm originally from Hawaii. I was born in a town called Hilo. I'm fourth generation, so my parents, my great-great-grandparents originally immigrated from Japan. So I share that with you so you can gain some perspective of my vantage point relative to this topic, because it is obviously going to be very different than, you know, Nisei or Sansei. So I did want to share with you also my experiences in working in Japan as an entrepreneur, and then summarize with some closing thoughts as well. So first of all, again, I'm an entrepreneur. They would call me a serial entrepreneur here in the United States because I like to do a lot of companies. Actually, generally speaking, I'm probably unemployable by anybody else. And as a result, I've got to create my own businesses, because if not, I wouldn't have any other source of income. So that's how I ultimately found my way into becoming a business person. I'll also share with you that my first two businesses failed. I started a t-shirt company, which failed miserably and ended up with hostilities amongst friends who helped me start the company as well. And the second company wasn't exactly a complete failure, but didn't take off quite as we wanted to. We did early stage internet access through dial-up modem about the time when AOL was coming out. And that was by far too capital intensive for us to keep up with the trend, and ultimately we sold the business, but again, not for profit, ultimately, unfortunately. Now, I found my way into clean energy, and this is where I've been for really the last about 17 years of my career, and fortunately it's gone pretty well. Now, I will start with one big thought. As was mentioned at the onset by Dan, he mentioned Silicon Valley, and the types of companies that have come out of the valley include companies like Intel and Google and Yahoo, E-Trade, and of course Microsoft, which didn't quite come out of the valley but still in the culture of innovation. Those are all the types of companies you'll find today around that venture capital Silicon Valley hub. Now, I changed the channel and talk about green technology. And I ask you to think about who are the big companies in green technology. Really, there's nobody out there today. You've got big companies out there trying to get into green technology like Siemens and GE, but there's no Microsoft, there's no Google in green tech today. That is what I think is the ultimate opportunity for entrepreneurs and innovation relative to this space, entrepreneurism. Green tech is green field. We have unlimited opportunities here. So I will share with you some of the things that I've been able to do. I'll start with this company here called Energy Industries. Energy Industries is an energy efficiency company. I started this company when I was living in Seattle. And what we do is we go into big businesses, we take a look at all the things that use energy, and we figure out ways to have the same things being done, but use less energy. Change the lights, change the air conditioning, change the thermostat, and as a result, reduce the amount of energy that's being consumed. And this is the result. Go into a building, you can see the chart. And really, unfortunately, for this company, that's the image of what we do, that chart. High energy cost before we go in, low energy cost when we come out. And that's the savings. These projects, of course, can be millions of dollars, and these projects are global. Doesn't matter if you're in India, China, Japan, or the United States, energy efficiency opportunities exist. Energy Industries started, as I mentioned, in Portland, Oregon, but ultimately moved back to Hawaii when I did. And from there, we were able to expand. We expanded throughout the state of Hawaii, and then ultimately throughout the Pacific Northwest. So small company with a big idea that we've been able to really grow and go forward organically. We've been able to do this ourselves with no outside equity, no outside capital dollars to help us grow the business. And we continue to grow even now. From Energy Industries, which I started in 1994, there have been other companies as well. Sopogy, which stands for Solar Power Technology, is the company that I'm principally running today. This is a technology which spun out of Energy Industries. It was an idea we had at Energy Industries, but because that company was focused on the energy efficiency services, we felt it was more appropriate to build a separate company for it. So Sopogy got started really around the concept of technology. we invented these solar collectors. And in short, what this is basically a big mirrored trough. The mirror follows the sun as the sun passes throughout the sky, and the sunlight bounces off of the mirrors into a pipe, and in that pipe we can generate steam. The steam is used to spin a steam turbine to create electricity. So if you think about the way that a traditional utility would create power, they would burn some kind of natural gas. In Japan, it might be liquefied natural gas or natural gas. In the United States, it could be coal, could be oil, as they do in Hawaii. And they create steam from burning that. The steam goes into the turbine, spins the turbine to create the power. Same thing happens here, minus the fossil fuel. So it's completely green technology. This solar collector, which we initially designed for Hawaii, has gone on to really become a globally adopted technology. It's won a number of global awards. In fact, one that was actually called the Global Energy Award, Product of the Year by Plant Engineering Magazine, and also by the National Society of Professional Engineers. So small technology company out of Hawaii does good, expands beyond the borders of Hawaii. And I actually had another slide here which showed all the different locations of which we have projects now. These are throughout the United States, the Middle East, into Europe, India, parts of Asia, and of course Hawaii. And the company today is a Hawaii-based company. We invent the technologies in Hawaii. We research and develop the technologies from Hawaii. We prototype the technologies in Hawaii. And when those technologies are ready to go and become commercial technologies, we just export them. We export our IP all around the world. We have them manufactured all around the world from Hawaii. That is not a model that's specifically unique to Hawaii. That's a model that can exist in Japan or really wherever you are as well. And it's a model that's worked very well. Apple, for example, employs the exact same model in Cupertino, where they design all their products like the iPhone, and it's manufactured in China and distributed around the world. Finally, we have a company here called Keahole Solar Power, which took our technology and designed a very efficient method to create a solar plant. By combining X amount of collectors and a turbine and putting it in a specific location, you can generate energy. And Keahole Solar Power is looking to deploy 30 megawatts of the technology in Hawaii over the next 5 years, which is ultimately going to be bringing in $180 million to Hawaii. It's also going to help stop Hawaii's spending of about $5 billion for energy. Hawaii spends $5 billion every year to buy oil, to create electricity. This is one of the projects that will help to turn the tide in the favor of Hawaii. And I have one more image here of a technology which is now being primarily adopted in Japan, which is why I share it with you. This is an ozone laundry concept that we invented back in the late 90s. The idea here is where we actually create ozone gas. We take the ozone gas and put it into the laundry machine. Why you do this is it reduces the need for chemicals and hot water. It saves the consumer hundreds of thousands of dollars, or in this case, the hotel hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And it's also a lot more cost effective. You're not having to put any chemicals into the system, and there's no chemicals coming out of the system into the environment. Very, very clean, very, very green. It was a technology we invented in Hawaii, we ultimately sold, and is now being deployed in Japan in some of the washing machines that you may have in your home.